Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Dark Horse Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Carr.
And I am Kristen Johnson.
And it is September 1st, as of the recording of this, 2022. And a lot of people are posting on Facebook that it's the first day of Halloween season.
Yes, it is.
And it's a nice, cool 64 degrees here in New England. And it does feel a little like Halloween season.
It does. I'm wearing socks. I'm not happy. Not happy.
Long pants and socks. You're all bundled up.
I am. It's terrible. I know.
There's a little bit of a breeze out, but it was a nice sunset. But it did feel a little like fall is like right there, waiting for us. Like, where did the summer go? You know, kids are back to school. Mm-hmm. It's not even the holiday weekend yet, which is just weird. I don't know, but everything's been
it's
weird
like they know.
years,
it's like Mother Nature knows when the kids go back to school. That's it.
Yep, it's fall. Yep. Here you go. Goodbye, sun.
Goodbye, warmth.
Welcome, socks.
Yes.
Right. Long pants and all of that. So, but it's kind of cool. I mean, we like Halloween season, of course. It's
just the season for all of us to be jolly.
Yes, and a Day of the Dead that follows it.
Yes.
So, yeah. All very good stuff and very cool. We got a wonderful show for you guys. Here's our buddy. Let me bring up his bio real quick. He's a lead investigator for Paranormal New England. That's the team. For the past 11 years, he's been actively investigating the paranormal. He's explored some of the most haunted locations in this country. These include Waverly Hills, Ohio State Reformatory, Eastern State Penitentiary, Pennhurst Asylum, which I think we're going to talk a little bit about, Hills Asylum, Trans-Allegheny Asylum, just to name a few. He was a skeptic at first and foremost, but since his journey into the paranormal realm, he has seen and heard things that just cannot be explained. And these instances have vastly expanded his knowledge of the field since becoming involved as a paranormal investigator. His name is Joe Rainone. Welcome, Joe.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Join us.
We've been looking forward to this since we were talking at that party.
I know. It felt like it was going to be ways away, right? Like September, and it's like, and here we are, September. So,
yeah, right. But we had a great time talking to you.
Yeah, it was hysterical.
We had fun that day. That was a good time.
Absolutely. Now you're also part of the Dominion Ministries. I wanted to put that out as well.
Yep. So we are teammates.
That's right. We're teammates on that team as well, which is a network of investigators literally around the world. Sort of a web, so you can reach out to one place and find somebody, hopefully reputable. To join you and help you, and it's great. I like the idea of like a group think and that we bounce things off each other and all of that stuff. So that's cool stuff. Look for Dominion Ministries. I know we got a Facebook page going. I'm not sure what the website is. Probably it's there as well. But Google it, you'll find it. And so you got involved in this like 11 years ago. Did you have haunted experiences growing up? What got you involved?
No. So for me, I was always interested in the paranormal as a child. There wasn't a whole lot out there as far as TV shows, but In Search Of was a big one that I was a big fan of. And every now and then they would cover some pretty cool stuff. It was a lot of crypto and UFO type things. I don't really know if they covered too many of spirits or ghosts, but I was a big fan of that show. I would read as many books as I could as a kid. But what really hit home for me was back in the early 2000s when the wave of television shows came out. The Ghost Hunters came on Sci-Fi. I just remember, I'm a big sci-fi guy, so I was watching sci-fi. And I saw the trailers for Ghost Hunters, and I was just like, oh, my God. I'm like, I never realized that people actually were hunting ghosts for years.
Right. It seemed like this really kind of well-kept secret. There were some people, handholds or stuff, but it seemed different. Like not everybody could go do that.
Right. If I had known people doing this for legit, I would have gotten involved years ago.
Mhm.
But I guess it just wasn't my time. So anyway, so when the shows came out and I started watching the shows, and then I started wondering to myself, well, I know it's television, so are they trying to pull a fast one, or are they really getting this type of stuff? And so that's what drove me to do it. I always had an interest, but I wanted to kind of see if the shows were like pulling the wool over our eyes.
Hmm.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I believe you came to the conclusion that it's not necessarily so. Not to, vouch for the legitimacy of all shows and all episodes, but yeah, it's a hard thing to pull off every time you film, right? But the phenomena is out there. It happens. And
I believe it. I totally believe it now. I mean, like I said, I'm still skeptical. There's no doubt. I'm skeptical when I'm driving to a location. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical when I'm in the location, and then when I get something and I can't debunk it, then I'm not skeptical anymore until the next investigation. I'm always and I'm always second guessing, like on EVPs and stuff like that. Like, I'm hoping that definitely wasn't one of us, and you know what I mean. And sometimes I just got to accept the fact that it's something paranormal.
Hmm.
Exactly. What was the experience, defining experience for you that just made you say, yeah, that this is definitely real?
The EVPs, for sure. My very first EVP was a crazy one. Yeah. So it was funny. I bought a new Sony Handycam, and I was dying to use it. And literally the next day after I didn't even know when my next investigation was going to be. But literally the day after I bought the Sony Handycam, one of my buddies called me up and he's like, "Hey, I just got this call came in. It's a house in Weymouth. The lady thinks that there's definitely kids floating around, spirits of children." So he's like, "Can you meet me there at 11:30 tomorrow night?" And I'm like, "You got it. I will be there," because I'm like so excited I get to use my camera. So long story short, I show up and the lady was just giving us a walk. She gave us a walkthrough of the house, and then she gave us a walkthrough of the woods behind her house. And this was in Weymouth, so we were technically in the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah.
And I powered up my camera. I just started filming, and I was kind of bringing up the rear. I was following the group, and this lady was narrating the woods behind her house, and there was a little pet cemetery off to the left. And like I said, I just filmed. We investigated. Really didn't focus on doing EVPs at the time. I was really, really, really green. And as a matter of fact, my claim to fame was just being a cameraman for everybody. So I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't hear anything real time, anything like that. We finished up the investigation, and I came home. And then Sunday morning, once I got up, I'm doing my review of my footage. And like the first minute and 30 seconds in, you just hear this little girl's voice singing, and it sounded like, Joe, come here and play with me."
Ooh.
And
Wow.
I was blown away. I was blown away. And my wife, who at the time, I mean, I was green, and my wife at the time, who didn't want to know anything. I don't want to know nothing. Don't bring, don't bring anything home.
For a long time too.
I'm like, I go, "Gene, you got to come here. You got to hear this." And then she was like, "Was there a little girl with you?" I was like, at this point in time, it was like 1:00 in the morning in the woods in Weymouth. I go, "There was no little girl with us." She's like, there had to be. And I'm like, "No." I go, "There wasn't." It was the craziest thing. And what makes it even crazier is probably 2 years ago, I was picking up something on Craigslist that a guy had. And when I went to it was actually a satellite dish. And I was hoping that I could make a metabolic mic out of it, right? I read where you can make a mic out of them. So long story short, I I drove to Weymouth to pick this dish up, and I guess the guy, because my email is my first name at hotmail.com, and I guess the guy wanted to know who was coming to his house, even though he was leaving the dish out in the front yard. Because I'm on the way there, and he's texting me, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I just, I hope you're okay. I want to know who's showing up at my house." So I Googled your name, and it came back with Paranormal New England. And so he's like, I'm a sound guy. He's like, and he's like, if you ever have any sticky EVPs, let me know. And I says, geez, I got one from almost 11 years ago that if you could just help me clean it up in any way, shape, or form, that would be great. I kind of know what it's saying. It's a little girl singing. I go, but if you're a sound engineer, I would love for you to take a look at it. So so it was the coolest thing, because on the Sony Handycam, there's a left mic and a right mic.
Yeah.
Right. So I had no idea until this gentleman got the recording. That EVP, we now know it's a legit EVP because it only came in on the left channel.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's cool.
I was filming, I was recording in stereo.
It's one stereo track, but you got a left and a right side.
Right.
And everything was coming in through
the little girl's voice only came in on the left side.
Wow.
So just
That's cool.
all this validation, like that one's, even though it was 11 years ago, like I talk about debunking, like that was real validation 11 years later.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds like the real deal.
Yeah.
I believe spirits do have the capability of choosing where mic and how they do it. They can do it to your ears. Your ears can be a microphone. We've had that happen where they said things to us, like yelled things at us. Nothing's on the recorders. You go,
Yeah.
What?
It's fun.
It's like the most paranormal thing, and you've got no data to support it,
To
but
back it up.
Trust me, it happened.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
believe you.
so
I've had some disembodied voices too. Just didn't have any type of recorder running at the time. It would have been interesting if I did, to see if the recorder did pick it up, but no such luck. But I know what I heard, and there were other people with me in the room, and they heard it too. And so that's a whole other, that's really like catching lightning in a bottle,
Yeah, it doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't.
Stuff like that does make you think, like, wow,
yeah,
what are we dealing with here? This is something.
Yeah.
So this little girl story is really, really creepy. It seems like there's a lot of little boy ghost stories. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think is that legit, the spirit of children, or do you think spirit can sometimes like take a roll on because people believe in a certain legend or something?
I think it's legit. And I know there, people have said, oh, that's, a negative entity trying to lure you in. And I guess that's possible, but like, I don't know, like lure me into what? To take my gold chain off my neck? I mean, like, what are they luring me into? You know what I mean? I don't quite get that piece of it. Why wouldn't there be kid spirits? I mean, children pass at any age, all the time,
Sure.
Especially
historically.
Yeah, historically, right? I mean, you'd be lucky if you saw your teenage years,
That's right.
And none of these have ever been malicious. It makes me very sad to think they're kind of hanging around, but I've gotten a lot what appears to be children throughout the years.
Yeah,
I had one. We were doing a warehouse in Canton, Mass, and one just came through. This one was a girl as well. It was just like the sweetest little, and it just said "mom." It's like, "Mom," and it's like, whoa, I'm like, somebody here must remind her of her mom, or it's like, and then you try and gear your questions towards a child and see if you can entice anything more, but that was all we got. But I mean, it was clear as day.
We had one that went, "Where's mom?
Where's mom?"
And then
"Where's mom?"
And it was in the kid's voice and the whole thing, and it was just like underlying, just right through the whole session, you can hear like this
Sobbing.
whimpering and
Crying too.
Yes,
yeah.
sobbing. It
That's
was
yeah,
awful.
I'll play it for you.
Well,
off there.
yeah, another
It's
time,
yeah,
but yeah.
pretty
yeah,
cool. And
yeah.
And Matt.
yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out. Hey, Matt Warner, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, oh, hey, man.
Gerard, Greg Koss, Gina,
Oh, hey,
Anne-Marie,
Gina.
Debbie Wallace Hagen. How are all you guys? Courtney, see you out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Courtney.
And yeah.
Yeah.
You got some fans out there, my friend.
Gina said she loves her, like loves me some Joe. That's what she
Love
said.
me some Joe.
Oh, yeah, Gina's awesome. She's my buddy.
So,
My computer had a mental breakdown, so I'm getting there.
It's not
Okay.
uncommon.
Not uncommon. It goes on
Yeah,
fire.
we're having a
all
lot
the
of
time.
trouble with this computer. Got to replace it.
So I will be there in a
Service
minute.
show.
I'm just letting it cool down.
Kristen does a lot of the moderation and
Yes.
tries to reply to comments and stuff. So if you see her typing, she's not ignoring you. She's
Exactly.
not chatting on Facebook. She's
Would never.
doing her thing over here. So and that's really interesting. I find that the whole children aspect interesting because there's so much folklore. Like every town has, a haunted cemetery with a kid in it or something, seemingly like the Women in White. We talk about that a lot because I do think they can take on roles, but I also think there were a lot of, dead and probably lost children on the other side, if you will, that don't, know where to go.
Absolutely.
Something, or don't understand the experience that happened to them. So
My mom told me the reason why the women in white are very common is because a lot of them were back in the day were buried in their wedding dresses.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
yeah, so I figure it's a lot of them.
Right. Scorned lovers.
Yes.
So it seems that rumor always seems to go with it. She jumped off the cliff because, she lost her true love.
yeah.
It's something you hear a lot out there.
You do.
But I know you like ITC a
Yeah.
lot. And
I
we
do.
were talking about our recorders a little bit before the show and certainly at the party.
Yes.
And you have a very rare one. And you have a really good story about how you acquired it.
So I know you're talking about the infamous DR60 because we had this conversation. So that was interesting. And again, this was probably within maybe my first year and a half of paranormal investigating. They had a spooky series at the Tewksbury Library, and this particular evening, Karen Mossy was the guest lecturer, and she was actually, her EVPs were used in the movie White Noise.
Oh
Okay,
wow, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
So and I was just really starting to definitely gear my hobby towards gathering EVPs, and again, it was like right in my hometown, so I'm not gonna not go see Karen Mossy. So I went to see Karen Mossy. She put on a great lecture, and then she started talking. She had a DR60 in her hand, and she held it up, and she's like, "Now, if you ever see this record, actually, I don't have a DR60, but I got this little guy. We'll just pretend it's a DR60." So she's like, "If you ever see this recorder," she's like, "you want to pick it up." She's like, "I think I paid $20 at Service Merchandise back in 1998." She's like, "But these are EVP magnets," and she's like, "These are going, if you look on eBay, I track these all the time, and the last one sold for like $500. She's like, "But these are really, really good for getting EVPs." So when the lecture, say that again.
I'm sorry, this is just for our audience who doesn't know it. It's because they're kind of noisy, right? There's a little bit of white noise in the recorder itself. It's an older recorder from the 90s. Just wanted to.
Yeah. So a lot of the theory is that they're coming in on the white noise that the recorder generates. That's one of the theories for the DR60. And the mic to it is not well shielded. That's another theory, that they can just get past it. So when the lecture got over, I asked Karen, I went up to her and I was like, would you mind if I look at that recorder? And she's like, "Oh, no. She's like, "Here it is." And she put it in my hand, and it was so light, like I felt like it was going to just levitate right out of my hand. I'm like, $500 for this thing? There's nothing to this. This is crazy. So I got home maybe about 10:30, and I go on eBay, and sure enough, she was right. They were selling anywhere between $500 and $700. And I was like, I just can't do it. I'm just not paying $700 for that thing. It was kind of it's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
So I said, but there's got to be a way of getting one, without going through that. So that night I just said, you know what? Let me check Craigslist just for kicks. You never know. So I started off in Massachusetts, didn't find anything, and then I looked in New Hampshire, I didn't find anything, and then I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to lose track of the states. I need to set up some type of a system. So I figure, I know, I'll start at Maine, and I'll just go down the eastern seaboard, and then I'll go to the Midwest, and you know what I mean? And so by the time I hit Florida, which didn't take me very long, I found an ad for somebody selling a DR60. They had no idea that it was, they just thought it was a recorder they had lying around. They wanted to get rid of it. And it was a gentleman, and he said, you could tell he's probably an old timer because he was like, cash on delivery only. and I'm trying to rack my brain. I'm like, do I know anybody in Florida that I can just have them buy it for me, and I can get them $50, because the guy only wanted $50. So I couldn't think of anybody I knew in Florida. And then I says, you know what? Let me just send the guy an email. I'll reference the fact that, these are known to, I'll just be honest with them. I'm a paranormal investigator. These recorders are known to pick up spirit voices. I can't come to Florida. Is there any way we can do this? And I just put my website, Paranormal New England, down. I'm legit. I didn't hear from the guy in like 3 days. And then on that 4th day, he replies back to me. He's like, all right. He's like, this is how it's going to go down. You put $60 cash in an envelope and mail it to me. 50 for the recorder and 10 to mail it to you. And I'll send you the recorder. I said, okay. I got nothing to lose except $60. I'll take a chance,
Yeah.
So I threw $60 in an envelope. I sent it to him, and I said, just let me know when it's on its way. Let me know when you get it. And a couple of days went by, and he emailed me back, and he's like, I got it. Putting your recorder in the mail. You should get it in a couple of days. And then, probably another 3 or 4 days went by, and I went out to my mailbox, and I get the mail, and I just see this. It was he threw it in a regular letter envelope. Like you'd put you built a National Grid in, It was like, no bubble wrap, no packing. He just threw the recorder in an envelope and stuck a couple of stamps on it and sent it to me. I'm like, this thing is not. This came all the way up from Florida. It probably got bounced around. This thing's probably never gonna work. I threw batteries in it, and then I live down the street from the Tewksbury Mental Hospital, and there's a pauper cemetery that if the occasion's right, you can get some pretty decent EVPs there. So I used the DR60. I played around with it for, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes, and I came to the conclusion that it was the biggest piece of crap ever. And thank God I didn't spend more than $60 on it. And I said, at the very least, I know I can flip it for $5.
Right.
So I'll hold on to it. And I threw it in the heap with the rest of my records. I never thought anything of it. And then I know people will go, you'd hear people getting EVPs from it, and I'd hear people's EVPs from it. And I'm just like, it's a recorder, so I'm sure it can get EVPs, but it's so crappy. I'm like, I'm not going to use it, And then what sold me on it was Corey Heinzen had one. Corey bought one for the Conjuring House.
Former owner of the Conjuring House. Yeah.
Former owner of the Conjuring House. And the stuff that was coming through on the DR60 in that house, I said, damn, I really got to revisit this recorder. And as soon as I started taking it out, it was like old trusty, It's old. It really is old reliable. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
but when you took it out, you went to I forgot what place it was, and you got a scream and.
Rolling. Yeah. So Rolling Hills. Oh yeah. Yeah. So Rolling Hills, one of my favorite spots, East Bethany, New York. and I was doing an event for a company I work for, and I had a group of probably about 15 people, and we were up in the infirmary, and this was probably my third or fourth time at Rolling Hills, and there's the legend of the screaming lady there, and a friend of mine got a decent EVP of her, and I was always like, oh, that was like my white whale. It's like, oh, I gotta get the screaming lady. I gotta get the screaming lady. But she's typically down near the morgue, and I was up in the infirmary, so I wasn't expecting to get her, but I knew I was going to get something because I'm in Rolling Hills. So I actually had 3 other recorders running along with my DR60, so that's 4, and then 6 people in the event were either running recorders or their phones. And we were doing EVP burst sessions, and then we were doing maybe 1 to 2 minutes, and then after the sessions ended, I was playing all 4 of my. I was saying I saved the DR60 for last because I'm like, chances are we're gonna get something on it, so I'll save that for last. And we did 4 or 5 sessions, and on that very last session, we went through my 3, we went through all 6 people in the event. Nothing. I played that DR60, and at the very end, you just hear this lady screaming, like her. It was crazy. And the owner, Sharon, was in the room with me, and she's like, that is one of the best recordings we ever got of her.
Wow.
And it did not show up on 9 of the recorders that were in that room. That's
crazy.
It's crazy how they can focus,
manipulate,
and imprint it.
Yes.
They'll pick, which one they want to imprint it on, know?
Yeah. There's a word for that. Steve Mera, the paranormal researcher, kind of famous one. He's got some great stuff, and he coined a term for it, and I can never remember it because this comes up from time to time. I'm fascinated with exactly that.
We both are.
How do they choose, what one to go in, and
right.
You can have 2 side by side. You've got 9 of them. Only one gets it.
Left mic versus right mic with the little girl in the wood, like,
right.
That's right. So no, that's awesome. And on that note, you sent me some EVPs, and these are really cool. Let me see if I can bring them up. We'll play them on. Start with that. Now these are I loaded these right into StreamYard, so they're going to play, and I think we'll be muted while they play, and it should come up and probably take up the full screen. You've got some cool pictures here as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about these? They all seem to be from the USS Salem before I play them.
Yep, they're all from the USS Salem. I'm not sure the first one you're gonna play, but one of them is from early spring. We were in the surgery room, and we were just doing a burst session, and I always try and think. I try and bait them with a question I think they're chomping at the bit to answer, right? Mm-hmm. Not like, what year did you die? Who was president? I just try and think of something juicy that hopefully they'll answer. And I know it just came to me. I was like, who did the most surgeries in this room? Because we were in the surgery room. And,
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna give it away, but it's clear anyway. There's no debating it.
Good.
But we play it back, and you just hear me, McVeigh.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let me play it, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about
that
answer a little bit.
Can you come in here and talk to us? Was there a chief of surgery? Who was the doctor that performed the bulk of the surgeries? Can you talk to us? Can you talk to the surgeries? Surgery? Who was the doctor that performed the bulk of the surgeries?
Yeah, that is
That is
cool. as
awesome.
Heck.
That was a
And,
good one. Yeah.
That's a really good one. Now, have you done any research to see if there was a surgeon?
Well,
named
yeah.
Joe?
I mean, so Don De Cristofaro, who's like the guru of that ship. I mean, he's a curator. I mean, we can't find the name anywhere. We cannot tie that name McVeigh back to anywhere. But Don had said something to me the other day that, not all the doctors were affiliated or listed on the ship. So
Yeah, still room for one in there.
yeah,
it
but
certainly is clear.
I mean, that's class A. I mean, there's no,
Yeah.
I didn't, if I didn't tell you what it said, you would know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Most
I think
definitely.
everybody will get that from that. And hopefully it's coming through the stream okay.
Mhm.
We do have trouble with the stream sometimes and playing them, the clips, but I like to do it if we can do it. And that's a great one. I hope you guys heard that out there.
Debbie said, wow.
Yeah,
So
Debbie.
I think so.
Well,
Thank you,
Fagan
Debbie.
says, wow. There was also a question out here from Falson05. He said, do you use the EDP 445 to cancel white noise? Now, when you asked that, I did a quick Google of EDP 445 because I wasn't aware of a piece of gear like that, some kind of noise gate, and it came up with a YouTuber. So I don't know if he's kidding or you're talking about an actual piece of gear. But have you worked with like noise gates and like with the Wonderbox, they use a noise gate and there's a new product that works.
So if we're gonna start talking ITC, if I'm running a portal, I'll definitely use a noise gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's helpful, or do you feel? I feel like it's a trade-off. It's like you're going to get the stuff that bursts, and you're not annoyed by the static. Running for an hour or however long you're doing your sessions for, but at the same time, sometimes there's stuff in the static. I feel like it gets gated.
You're right. No, it is. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off for sure.
Ian said she heard it clearly as well.
Yeah, Emery Young says she heard it clearly. Yeah, we tried a newer one recently. It was okay, but I did think that we might have been missing a couple of things. So I don't know. Jerry's out with us. Do you like them? Do you like the Wonderbox and the reverb and
stuff? I do. I like it. It's interesting. I mean, EVPs are definitely more like, that's what I totally enjoy, because as long as you can debunk that it wasn't somebody in the room by playing another recorder, right? Then it's easy. You're like, all right, this is a slam dunk. ITC is a little different because it is radio. And even though you're getting a direct answer to your question, there's always, it always could have been a radio station. Like the coincidence possibly could be there. So that's why I'm not full camp ITC, but I do love it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. I agree. There's more room for false positives, a lot more
false positives.
Getting a clear Class A EVP, but I feel like we get more with it, and it gives Spirit like a toolbox, something to work with. That's why I think like DR 60 that has potential in a way, because there's that white noise, there's a hiss, and it's some kind of audio that can be taken and manipulated, just like the way they might manipulate where they direct it, right? Now, Gina also, and I saw a picture of this on Facebook, so I wanted to bring this up. It says, "Oh, Joe is going to get a sweet spirit box soon," and I'm assuming she's referring to the one that you posted recently on Facebook that looked freaking amazing.
So that's a Jeff Fent box, and I'm very blessed to be getting that. Gina helped facilitate that whole thing. She introduced me to Jeff. So I just I wasn't sure it was going to happen. My initial plan was to maybe get some wood from the Conjuring House and have the box made out of the wood from the Conjuring House, but I was a little slow to the game, and the house sold on me. Well, I lost my friend Corey, who owned the house, who was going to give me the wood. So, I kind of missed out on getting a box made out of that. And then, so the next best thing, so to speak, was I wanted something out of an old radio cabinet. So Jeff was pretty, there's more than just building the box. Like he just wants a person to have a real special connection to it. And he was like, I need you to, he's like, I want you to take your time and, don't just buy the first box you see just to get it to me. Jeff
Right.
Fenn, yep.
Yep.
And I saw that box. It was the first box I saw, but I loved it.
It is awesome looking.
It is.
Honest to God, it was exactly what I had in mind, and it just happened
Wow.
to be the first one I saw. And
Wow.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna think I'm just buying it just to buy it, but no, it was what I totally wanted. And then Jeff, it just took it from there, and he's just like, I want to have a piece of acrylic made with a laser etching. Is like, is there anything that resonates with you? And and like the team I'm on, Paranormal New England, I'm like, that would be it.
Craig says synchronicity, and yeah, I can't agree more.
Yeah.
Like, wonderful when things like that happen.
Absolutely.
It was meant. I'm just convinced it was meant to happen. Bottom line, and Jeff did. I mean, he turned it into a work of. He made it so nice that I'm probably gonna be afraid to take it out because it's beautiful,
Sure of it. Maybe I can share a tab here, and we'll take a quick peek. I was amazed. I was like, wow, that is super.
Oh, he did such. He went. Oh my God, he did such a beautiful job.
There you go.
Custom made the back for me.
Old school look to it.
Yeah, it was an old police radio. It was a Philco police radio from the 30s.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and great job with the detail in their logo.
Oh my God. He knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. Can't wait to use it.
Out of the park,
out of the park. Out of the
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we're all from New England. If you haven't guessed, our audience is from all sorts of places, and yeah, it leaps through. We can't help it.
Nope.
We pretty much live in the town of Quahog, and like Family Guy here in Rhode Island. So, Greg Goss says, "Oh my God, sell your portal, Joe." There you go. So yeah, that is awesome. And is it done?
It's done. It's done. I just worked out shipping with them, so I should get it probably within the next week.
Oh, nice.
Super cool. All right. Let's try another one of these. This next clip is called Skip, also on the USS Salem. Do you want to set it up?
Okay, so I figure I know the DR60 is going to work, but if that thing ever goes belly up, I'm certainly not gonna shell out $3,000 for one. So I need, I'm always testing other recorders. So this was honestly a first run of a particular recorder that I bought, and had it right outside the mess hall, and just was again, it was maiden voyage for it. I was just running it. I really wasn't knowing if I was going to get anything or not. So I was just kind of asking the normal questions, what's your name? And you'll hear it on the recording.
Excellent. What kind of recorder is it that you're using?
That was a little Memorex I bought.
Okay, so it's a new one, or is it retro in any way?
Early 2000s, I think. It's voice activated, like the DR60. It was short money, so I figure, I'll grab it.
All right, I'll play that now.
I'm gonna leave a recorder in here. So if there's anybody down here, you walk up to that red light and leave us a message. Right now, there's a red flashing light corner of that table. would leave us a message. Very good slow. She spells your name. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Here, Skip in there. Skip.
Right. So the first thing that popped into my head was skip is short for skipper.
Yes.
And we're on a ship. And I thought that, you know, other people would have thought the same thing. And then it wasn't until, like everybody was in agreement. It was, the name was Skip. I mean, that was pretty obvious. But it wasn't until a few days later that Don DeCristofaro was like, oh my God, I didn't realize this at the time, but I might screw up the title, but I think he said the chief officer's nickname was Skip. They used to
Wow.
call
Look at him.
No, it was they called him Skipper. Sorry,
Okay.
they called him Skipper.
Oh, that's a
So
little valid.
so Skip would be short for Skipper, and that's kind of like from the second I played it on the ship, I'm saying this got to be a nickname for Skipper, but I just, you know, and then Don kind of, you know, verified it. So that
It's
was pretty
super
cool.
clear.
Yeah.
Super clear.
Oh,
It's
it's super clear. And the other thing is, like, there was like some reverb to it too.
Little bit. Yes.
A little
I
bit
heard
of
that.
reverb to it, you know?
yeah,
So it's
the
like,
room you're in maybe had a little echo to it, or
yeah. So it's weird
Yeah,
how
that
that,
can happen.
picked that up.
you know, this room is actually I treated this room for sound, so because we have a high ceiling in here, and it had that effect of carrying a little reverb into the mic. So there, you'll notice all the black behind us. So it's all sound absorbing.
Oh yeah, no, your mic sounds really good actually.
Thank you.
So no, that's important. Wow, that's fantastic. And this again is that was the Salem. You've liked the Salem, and have you been there many times? And what is it you like about it?
Well, it's active. Number one, it's local. Number two, and a good friend of mine runs the paranormal events there. So number three, I mean, you know, it's win-win-win,
Trifecta.
right?
Right.
It's a trifecta right there.
It's a
Perfect.
trifecta. It's a trifecta.
Cool. I like that. We have one more clip, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. The next clip.
So you want me to set that one up?
Oh yeah, this one's awesome. I like the
yeah.
picture that goes with it. So it looks like
Yeah.
you're doing a reenactment or something.
So we because I knew I got that Class A McVeigh in the surgery room. I go, you know, we were like, we definitely got to hit the surgery room to do some EVP work. And when we got in there, one of the girls was like, Sarah's like, I'm going to hop up on the table. And then her twin sister, Vicky, was like, I'm going to put on one of those doctor smocks, and we're going to pretend that we're operating. And again, I was just, you know, trying to think, you know, what's something juicy that I can ask. And I call out that I'm like, Dr. McVeigh, you know, I call his name out, and then right after that you can hear what's I don't know if it was him, but you can hear what somebody replied with.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me play that.
Okay, we're recording. Now, I don't know if anyone can see me here, but I'm ready to perform surgery, and I am not a qualified doctor. Anybody here that can tell me what I need to do? Please help them. Do you have a phone number? Oh, maybe it's the SOS. Can you please help her? Or me? What was that like? That was just caution. I'll tell you all the Gotta hold the thing. Dr. McVeigh, what do you think of this? You approve? Can I be scared? What type of anesthesia should we use? This one. I'm moving the as well. Oh.
That one's so cool. I'm actually
yeah.
going to play that again.
Yeah, do it again.
2 EVPs in there.
Yeah.
I forgot there was 2 in there. Yeah.
That's right. I watched them earlier, and I forgot that too. That the
I
last
did too.
one, Let's Cut Her,
Yeah.
was really
That
kind of like
woman and let's
Yeah,
cut
it
her.
was crazy.
foreboding. So it says that woman, and it goes, "Let's cut her."
Okay, we're recording. Now, I don't know if anyone can see me here, but I'm ready to perform surgery, and I am not a qualified doctor. Anybody here that can tell me what I need to do? Please help them. Do you have a phone number? Oh, maybe it's the SOS. Can you please help her? Or me? What was that like? That was just question. I'll tell you all the answers. Got all the things. Doctor, okay. What do you think of this? You approve? Can I be scared? What type of anesthesia should we use? This one. I'm going to be as well. Oh.
I love that. That is,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a gem right there.
Yeah, it definitely
it's a
talks
yeah.
about it.
gem. Let's cut her.
Yeah.
Let's cut her. Yeah.
Kind of spooky voice, even.
Yeah, it was creepy, right?
Yeah,
It
for
was.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh. I thought it was over with that woman, and then
I totally forgot about that woman was said right before, because that "let's cut her" just steals the show.
Yes. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Indeed. Now, do you like reenactments, and do you think that that's an effective way to communicate with spirits? And
I do. It's I mean, that wasn't my idea. But yeah, I do like it. It was Sarah and Vicky's idea. We definitely should try and do that more. It worked out because the props were like right there. I mean, there was the table, the smock was hanging on the rack, and you know.
yeah.
So,
No,
but
that's-
yeah, but
like that.
probably should try and make you know, a habit of it if possible, because it definitely seemed to yield some results.
Yeah, and that's a good scenario. You've got the equipment, you can do that and pull it off. You know, it's maybe not something you want to do in a residential.
Oh yeah, well that's different. Home investigations. Yeah,
I saw this thing in Lizzie Borden's house.
yeah. Can you tell me where your husband's tool shed is?
Yeah, you go lay on the couch. And I'll be right back. You know, Greg Koss, our buddy, he asks, so Joe, could you describe your new box and any special features like the sweep?
So, in all honesty, I'm not 100% sure what Jeff put in it. But when I get it, I can look. The only thing I know is the radio itself is a Jensen armband radio. I don't know what Jeff put in it for a noise gate, and I'm not sure what he put in it for a reverb. But
Yeah,
I
that's-
believe they're some brand of guitar pedals.
Cat ball going off
Cat
behind
ball.
us.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
oftentimes in these shows, we'll
Four of them on.
just throw them on our bookcase, and
There we
it's a
go.
it's a really
if
good
anything
idea.
happens. Yeah.
I don't know. Let me know if you see anything behind me. I don't got any gear out here.
I heard something actually.
I heard something
Yeah, did you
before.
hear that just maybe about 2 minutes
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh boy.
you hear stuff in streams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God,
we-
yeah.
Oh my
Streams
God.
that
Yeah.
were like really clearly saying things they shouldn't say, Adam swearing at us and all kinds of stuff. So you just never know.
Yeah. I what I
spreads
do is
everywhere.
I have them side by side. So if you like any movement or anything,
Yeah, we can't set it off.
yeah, it won't come. Yeah, it won't go off.
You have to
So,
physically
there's-
move the case.
There it goes.
But there it goes.
And
It's,
I should.
it's making an
there's
ass out
another
of it.
one. Ah, another two.
There are
One.
there are multiple.
I'm looking for it.
There's
2
lots of balls on that shelf.
and 3. So they should all be going off if it's like, you know,
If
vibration.
it's vibrations, yeah,
Yeah.
we find that
Wow.
interesting. Penny says hi. Hey, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
So we're not too sure everything that is loaded up in that beautiful box, but hey, it looks like a winner. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous, Joe.
Oh, I'm so stoked. You guys have no idea.
Oh,
I
we
just-
do.
Yeah.
We had one made as well for
Yeah.
us as well. So yeah,
You show me yours, I'll show you
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're that kind of show.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is made by Supernatural Inc.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Katie and Katie Stafford.
Katie
made this
Stafford.
art.
Yeah.
And this is a little our logo there, DHP for Dark Horse Paranormal, and it's kind of cool. It's a nanocom, And Greg
Greg
Koss in our
Koss.
audience has the other one that's like it. It's they're special, they're different. Even Greg's and mine are like ours are a little bit different than each other, but it's a Nanocom 2. It has a wheel on it, which is pretty neat. You can control the sweep if you're holding the box and control the speed of it. It has some interesting noise reduction features, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm aware of KD, and I know for a while he was making like the big boom boxes.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
still make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made one for, what was it, Jack?
It's on
Osborne.
Portals of Hell.
Yes.
They were using that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
cool.
That one's nice. Yeah.
With Jack Osborne, Ozzy's kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course he's haunted.
Oh my God.
That's off the ink box. Yeah, the ink box, Greg says.
And he asked the question, he said, Fent, is that what his name is?
Jeff Fent.
We
Jeff
got that.
Fent. Okay. Wasn't sure.
No
Trying to
worries.
do this.
No, I know the computer's having a meltdown. It does every week. We gotta just burn it. It's almost not worth it.
We don't have to burn it. It catches its own self on fire. So
That's true. So yeah, that's really interesting. We love that you love ITC, and that's like our forte as well. We really love recording stuff, and getting a great EVP is just
It makes that
so
10-hour ride and 20-hour investigation worth it.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. It really does.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, totally get it. I love the history of ITC, going back into the things like Tesla and his crystal radios, and he thought he was talking to the dead, and he thought they were aliens, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff there that we like chatting about because
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun.
It
But
is.
you've been a lot of big places, a lot of these asylums and stuff, and well, first up, I guess, do you feel like the asylums really are emotionally scarred in the way that we imagine?
I've never been into asylum I didn't like.
Does it make you
There's a reason why you're paying $1,000 plus to go in them.
very good.
They're legit. There's just too much history there. There's too many souls have passed through those doors for it not to contain some of them still lingering around. So yeah, asylums are without a doubt my favorite. And I've never been to one that I didn't get anything. Like I struck out. Which happens at more often than not at other locations. I mean,
Right.
like I said, when Corey and Jen bought the Conjuring house, I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time there. And I mean, I spent nights there. We got zero. We got nothing, and then the very next night, the place is off the chain. But for me, I don't think I've ever been into an asylum that I didn't get something. But-
Yeah.
It's all that drama.
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
emotion.
Yes, very
Yeah,
much.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like when you guys asked me for some EVPs, I was gonna grab some of the ones from Trans-Allegheny, but I had just put those 3 together from the USS Salem, and I already had them on the Google Drive, and they were great ones. You know what I mean? And they're local, and we're all New Englanders. So I love my friend Don. So I had them, and I just felt as though it was the proper ones to use. But the ones that I was initially gonna grab were from when I went to Trans-Allegheny. We got some. Almost every single time I hit record on the recorder, we got an EVP, and they were always intelligent responses. I don't believe they were residual responses. It was always direct, clear-cut answers to the questions.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is insane.
Oh, I love that.
So
Yeah.
would you say that's your favorite of the places you've been?
It ruined me for all of the locations.
I bet.
It ruined me for all of the. I'm not gonna lie. So if you asked me 2 years ago what my favorite absolute favorite location was, it was Rolling Hills.
Mhm.
It was flat out Rolling Hills, followed by Waverly, but Trans-Allegheny. So I did that with Exploring with Josh. and it was only 5 of us, so we had the whole run of the place.
Wow, that's nice.
And it was, again, almost every single time I hit the record button and ask a question, we got an EVP. And some of them were, their answer was clearer than my voice asking the question,
Wow.
Come on.
which is something I can't understand. You know,
Wow.
how did the EVP come out clearer than me live asking the question into the microphone?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who
Well,
knows?
I believe it. I believe it. And it seems like there would be a lot of energy and a lot of ways to push that, I suppose, right into the microphone. You were talking to us about a place in Connecticut. And are you at liberty to talk about that now, or is that was kind of on the download? I think.
Yeah.
Maybe?
You know, I'm at liberty to talk about it. So it was Norwich State Hospital in Connecticut. So went out there maybe about a month ago. Shannon Anthony is the property manager. And I guess Destination Fear came out there. So
Okay.
yeah, so Destination. So you're going to be seeing that on this upcoming season of Destination Fear. The crew was out there, and I had she had contacted me because I was doing some urbexing out there, and I posted a little video. We got. I was, again, I didn't bring my DR60. I was testing out another recorder, and I got some EVPs, but they weren't really the greatest, so probably not going to use that recorder again. But we did get a little something, and I felt it was worthy to put a little 30-minute video out on the YouTube channel. So Shannon saw it, and she got a hold of me, and she was just like, "Oh, you know, there's a project going on here. I really can't talk about it." She's like, "But I'm thinking of maybe having some paranormal teams come out here, and you know, would you and your team be interested in it?" And she's like, "Basically, you could explore it and not have to worry about getting arrested, you know." And I was like, "Oh, absolutely," you know. And never really heard back from her. And then like I said, I do a little bit with exploring with Josh, who has, you know, he has like 4 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. You know, he's a big influencer, and he was asking me, "Oh, you know, do you have a contact there?" And I was like, "Yeah." I go, "It's this lady Shannon. She's pretty cool." And like next thing you know, like, "Yep, we're going out there next Sunday." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that I don't know when that's going to air. I don't know when that's going to air on Josh's channel. I think it's coming up. But it was one of those things where we got out there, and what the intent was to hit 3 buildings. We were going to hit the orphanage, the nurses, and then the criminally insane ward. And we were getting so much activity in the criminally insane ward. We decided we weren't going to leave. We're just going to we'll just come back and do the others. So yeah, so we did that. I think Josh is going to drop it this month. So if anybody follows Josh, you'll see that episode. And we are going back out there at an undisclosed date to do those other 2 buildings.
Oh, awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I know we're going to get some. I know we're going to get some good stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of untouched. It goes the ball.
It's been going off. They love Joe.
Yeah. So
guy.
what is urbexing? Urbexing is going to abandoned buildings without without any authority.
Just breaking in.
Yeah.
Breaking an entry. Being
Trespassing, essentially.
Yes.
Looking for abandoned buildings and things that haven't been walked through in ages, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which is the nice part about, you know, where you're going is Norwich State Hospital, because it hasn't had a million teams through it. It hasn't had a bunch of people throwing their own energy into it. Okay, so urban exploring. Yes. Urban exploring. So it's kind of fresh. You know, do you think the energy of a location changes over time? Like people talk about the Conjuring House, anytime a new person has bought it, and it's like the energy changes and that sort of thing. Do you buy into that?
I'm open-minded to it. I think there could be a possibility that could definitely happen. You know, I don't really know. I mean, a good litmus test would be, if I get back into the Conjuring house, right? Because now Jacqueline Nuez owns it. So if I can, which I've had some conversations with her, if I can get back in there and spend the time I did, like when Corey and Jen owned it, like that would be a good litmus test. This I can tell you, and I truly feel strongly about, is the group of people you're with and investigating with.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe has everything to do with how your night is going to go.
We couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of our things.
We stay together, like wherever we go. If we go with like other people and it's a group, like Chris and Kristen are going to go over there. And it's kind of how it is,
because there's something between us
better,
that works better. When we do it individually, it doesn't work as good as it does, with us. And
so
being together.
Even some events I've done, where like I was stationed. We can even Rolling Hills. We'll use that because we talked about that earlier. So for that event, I was stationed in the infirmary, and we had at least 3, if not 4 groups of people come through, and doing an EVP session with some of the groups, we got 0. Even with the DR60, we got 0. We didn't get any EMF hits, we got nothing. And then you got another group that would walk in not even 15-20 minutes later, and just the energy of that group is just different, and the place seems to respond to it. That I'm a firm believer of, because I've just seen it too many times.
Yes.
We agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a key component, and I think it's how people who have been doing this for a long time start to seem to have more data. There's just a certain energy, it's something going on, they know who to go with, whatever it is.
Right.
Some people keep very detailed logbooks for just that reason, having like moon cycles and different things of that nature.
Everything.
Temperature, barometer, atmospheric conditions. I mean, if we could figure that all out, I mean, it'd almost be like turning on the television, right?
Right. That's the next level. It's coming.
Be crazy if we could get there. I don't know like if conventional science is really on board with the paranormal or not. Some people say they are, but it's going to be somebody much smarter than me that's going to have to do it. I can tell you that much. All I know how to do is push record and play.
No, we hear you, and it's so true. Even on the scientific level, and you look at parapsychologists, like a lot of people in their world don't like them because what are you wasting your time for in this ghost stuff, But like those ghosts, the psychic abilities, we can prove it, and they do prove stuff in labs. Because trying to recreate that scientific method of having the exact replicated experiment over and over.
Right.
Same conditions, same people, same time, all those things is very hard to do, really impractical. And from a layman's perspective, we can't, I can tell you, we took the skull out once and we seem to get some stuff with it.
I'm interested if we end up getting together for the, the Dominion group, I'm interested in that skull. So that's that.
We'll have
to figure something out.
We affectionately named it Wilson because we broke it out of Wilson Castle and Wilson, the movie, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
But it could be Scully. It could be whoever.
I accidentally called it Scully.
It kind of stuck a little bit.
The X-Files.
Oh God, I love them.
We're fans.
No, we're very big fans. Yes.
Especially Kristen.
I watch them a lot.
Gina says the group makes or breaks an event. We all have that one person in a group that ruins it for everyone.
Oh God.
And let's elaborate on that a little bit. So who is that person? Is it their energy? They're just a downer. They're just too skeptical. What is it? All those things.
Or they don't stop talking when you're trying to do EVPs.
Oh my God.
That's the deal breaker there. Yeah.
Please stop.
Everybody's been there.
Well, I can understand if somebody's, new or whatever, but when like, these are supposedly seasoned investigators. I'm not mentioning any names, but like, hey guys, we're doing an EVP session over here. Like, talk. It's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Their mouth.
We
That's
agree,
yeah,
right.
Gina.
That's
yeah.
right. We've been there, and I've
Oh.
been on the public investigations where somebody is always under a
Oh,
spiritual attack, and that one's rough. It's like every room they go in, like, something
Yeah.
touched me.
yeah, something jumped
Fuck
me.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ah,
yep. Some of them like to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Abolikers.
There you go.
Mhm. It's like they're having a battle for the whole
Yeah, they're
time.
having a battle. Yeah, exactly. Like,
My trigger object is my hair. For some reason, they like my hair. Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, who doesn't want to pull that hair?
all right. Every freaking show. But yeah, it's like I've had it. I've actually sat in Wilson Castle. We were with Shay from Paranormal Buzz Radio.
Shay Carroll.
Shay Carroll, yeah.
Yeah, good
And
friend of mine.
yeah, and we were sitting, and her camera was behind me, and I kept looking at her mom, Deb, and I'm like, my God, they're playing with my hair, and you can literally see when I stop that my hair moves unnaturally
You just moves
in
on
the
camera.
camera. Yeah, it's like,
Oh,
I've had it at my house and stuff too. So
Wilson's another place where I don't think I've ever not gotten something out of. Like, I've always, some nights were more active than others, but I've always got something. We always came back with something.
It's one of those places too. It doesn't have like a really damn good reason to be haunted.
yeah,
But it is.
except for we thought like the traveling casket, because that's where we were at
the
the
traveling.
The transfer casket. Yeah. If you want an EVP, just hang around that casket long enough, you're bound to get something.
That's right. For our audience that doesn't know, it's this old like wicker casket that a hospital or no, it's a funeral home or a hospital.
It was a funeral home, I believe.
Yeah, funeral home.
Funeral homes, right?
Transport bodies in, and it was an antique. It had been used countless times.
Yes, yeah.
And they had up in what they call the ballroom was going to be a ballroom that never really was completed as a sort of centerpiece. And yeah, there's some shit with that.
A lot of stuff with that.
That's right.
But then we go back a second time. We go into a prop room where like nobody ever goes.
Right.
And we take Wilson with us, and we get this like mega burst of just
EMF
spirits.
and voices, and it's weird. It was like waves because it would just happen and then it would stop.
It's that
And then
magnet.
It would happen, and the recorder, you use a Tascam recorder. It's just like sounds like it's being overdriven. Like, and that's happened to us before. In fact, I question how good it is anymore because
It's been touched so many times.
Been touched a lot, and you know how to set it up so it's not overdriven. We didn't get louder. All of a sudden, it's flashing. The recording's got this like chopping noise in it. And you hear these creepy voices whispering to us, and it just goes on. You're like, what are we getting into here?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know if I like this too much. They were swearing at us, so that made it all.
Yeah, why do I swear? Angry spirits out there.
The portal runs really good in Wilson Castle too. The portal's usually spot on in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking of building one at some point, and we might.
Do you get a lot of swears when you go there?
I'm trying to think if we got any swears. I get swears all the time. I'm trying to think if we got any swears at Wilson Castle. I got told to die. That was pretty loud. That was at the pool table.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That I got that. I can at some point I can play
that.
Near
the stairs that somebody fell down.
But it was just like die. It was like pissed at me, whatever it was, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm done for the night. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm going home. See ya.
I got my EVP. I can go to sleep now.
Nice. Well, what's next? And like, what is on your bucket list? Where haven't you been that you really want to go doing?
The place I really want to go is Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Okay.
And I've come close twice. The first time I forget what happened. I was booked lock, stock, and barrel, and then I don't know if a natural disaster happened that I couldn't go, so
Mhm.
it got put on the back burner, and then I booked it, or I got invited again, and I had it reserved, lock, stock, and barrel, flight, rent a car, whole 9 yards, and then COVID hit.
Oh,
Mm.
jeez.
So the rug keeps getting pulled from me every time I try and get in there. But that's for whatever reason, that's the highest on my bucket list right now. That I definitely want to get in there. And then the people who own that bought Harmon Hospital, which is in the same state. So I'd like to try and hit both of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what are the legends surrounding that? I'm not that familiar with that.
Just old South Pittsburgh Hospital was just a hospital and was converted into a old age home. Harmon, I'm not sure because that's new. That's new. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, other than I know that it's open now for investigations. But I know a lot of people that have gone to Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and people that I trust and value their opinion, and they're just like, it's legit. You need to go.
Wow.
Jeez.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds like
Yeah.
a good trip.
Yeah.
I know we want to make a road trip at some point and get caught up with some of these locations because
Yeah.
Gettysburg.
Oh yeah, Gettysburg's, forget it. I mean, you'll even if you're not sensitive to this type of stuff, you'll feel it as soon as you walk into that national park. There's no denying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why
You
I'm
know?
been skeptical to go. Not skeptical, but I just been like standoffish. Yeah, hesitant. Thank you to go because I'm afraid because I can feel like almost everything. And
Oh, then yeah, but you should go. You shouldn't
know.
deprive yourself of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Harmon.
that's
See, this Greg knows. He's talking
Yeah.
about both legit. So that's there's other places I want to go, but Old Salt is that's because I've tasted it, and then it got pulled away from me.
Right.
But I think looks like I'm going to be going to Waverly in November. Matt's got Wilson Castle coming up in October.
Matt Warner. Mhm.
I got an invite to that. So I got to see. I know my kids have sports, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that one or not, but I'm going to certainly try. We're doing Crescent in New Jersey, and I think it's a prison. I guess it's massive. It's massive. And Josh just lined that up for us. So we'll be doing that. Oh, Ronnie D'Zeffrini owns both. Okay, so he's talking about Old South Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Potentially might be going to Pennhurst again for Ghost Hunts Day. We'll see.
The National Ghost Hunting Day.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, man. Pennhurst.
We were in Wilson for that last year.
That's the world's largest ghost hunt.
World's largest ghost hunt. Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to Pennhurst?
Oh, we have
No.
not.
You guys got to go to Pennhurst. You got to go to Pennhurst.
A little bit about it when we talked last.
Yeah.
But that was another place that was high up there as far as activity, right?
Yeah. So probably, I mean, so for me, it like I said, it'd be Trans-Allegheny #1, and then 2, 3, and 4 will be Rolling Hills, Pennhurst, and Waverly, and you can just interchange those any way you want. But definitely Trans-Allegheny was crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to go.
Yes, most
It's
definitely.
A lot of big locations. I mean, we've always wanted to go to Waverly. I'm sure you saw the documentary with the Booth brothers years ago. The
Yeah.
And I didn't know that story that so many kids have been, kept there, and then we had this just too many kids. They were just they were all homeless and the little kids. It was weird, and they would train them into like asylums and pack them in these rooms, like just massively overcrowded, malnourished.
Oh, it's awful.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So Waverly and the Conjuring House, out of 11 years of doing this, and I lost track of how many home investigations and how many places I've been to, but only disembodied voice twice, and one was in Waverly in front of the body tunnel, the body chute,
Mhm.
and the Conjuring House, and we weren't even investigating yet at the Conjuring House. We were just sitting in what was dubbed the safe room, and we were waiting
Okay.
for Cherry D. Benedetti to show up before we started investigating. And it was me and a gentleman named Bill Brock, and we were just having a conversation, and we just heard female voice, hello, and the front door just blew open.
Really?
Oh my god.
and I just said, Bill, Shari must be here, and he's like, no, he's like, look at the monitor, nobody pulled in the driveway.
Hey.
And I go, but I just heard and he finished my sentence, a female voice say hello, and I was like, thank God you heard it. I go, dude, where'd that voice come from? He's like, I have no idea. He's like, that was the craziest friggin' thing. And I'm like, I know. And the door had a spring on it that like pulls it shut. I mean, it's not a heavy duty one, but still. So whatever went against the like opened it.
That's creepy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So it was there in Waverly in front of the body chute. Is me and another investigator, and she was just like, she's like, I always get stuff down here in the tunnel, and she's like, I think the last time I was here, I got in contact with a nurse, and then you just hear this female voice, and it says the word clearly. You just hear it say clearly, and I was like, what the hell was that? And she's like, I have no idea. And I go, I think it came down from the tunnel. I go, let's go. And her and I just tore off down the death chute. You know, most other people would head in the other direction.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And we tore off down that tunnel looking to just see if we could.
I think Chris and I would have done that too.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Emery Young said there's a lot of drama around Waverly.
There's a lot of drama. I know. There's a lot of drama. Yeah. It's too bad what's going on there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I hope that all gets worked out soon.
So do I. Because I do want to go back.
Gina says Indiana State Sanitarium is an awesome location.
She's just saying that because she wants me to go out there. No, I do want to go out there though at some point. We'll see. But yeah, that's one of her favorite spots.
Greg says I have Chattanooga Para on my show this month, and they have done both a ton. If you need any info.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Greg. Greg, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but if we're not, please reach out.
Greg has 2 shows. He runs every week, as well as being a long time investigator himself, and he's a heck of a guy. One of them is on Wednesdays called Metaphysical Crossings, and we're in a rotation of being on that, Kristen and I.
Oh,
and
cool.
where we kind of do like kind of this group Estes method things and different ITC like experiments.
Mansfield.
And just
love
to see,
it.
yeah, who did the dance? So I still got the ping pong balls over here. I look like a frog man. I have red light in my face, and I like got the ping pong balls.
So I just ordered. So Bill Chappell from Digital Dowsing.
Yes,
he just made a device that it's glasses with the strobes. And then it's got the sensory for the ears, so it's all made for you. And I just pre-ordered those, so those are coming in October. I can't wait to try that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So it's to put you in a trance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Deprivation. Yeah.
Sensory deprivation. Right. So you don't have to deal with the ping pong balls in the eyes.
Yeah, they're not the most comfortable things.
No, I can imagine.
Taping him up is not fun either.
Yeah.
Time, so.
And it was pretty reasonable. I think it was only like $130. I figured I'll take a shot, you know.
That's a lot.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
That might be a cool tool. We like that.
Well, you wait till I get mine and see what you think, and if you like them, you get your own, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll do
And
that.
he's got some interesting products.
Also, Shadow Hunters. We forgot the second
That's
one.
right. Greg's part of Shadow Hunter Paranormal.
I've heard of Shadow Hunter.
Yes. And they're on some of the shows are on Paraflix, I believe. And
that's where I heard of them. Yeah.
Every Friday as well. And it's a similar talk to guests and, talk all things paranormal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want, Greg, if you want me to come on, I'd love to. So let me know.
Greg
That's
loves
awesome.
ITC like we do,
Yes.
so you'd be a good fit for sure.
Yeah, I
I
love
was
it.
going to ask you about cryptids. Have you had any experience with cryptids, and where do you stand with cryptozoology?
No experience with cryptids. Do very interested in hearing the lore and the legend. When I was a kid, I was really big into Bigfoot.
Bigfoot was a big deal in those days.
Yes.
Bigfoot was a big deal, and seeing him on the $6 Million Man didn't hurt either.
That's right. Had Steve Austin, Bionic
Steve
Man.
Austin, and
It looked like the back of his head, and it had like a little magnified eye or something.
I think I had a lunchbox. I don't know. Somebody did.
I had the lunchbox too. Yeah. Yeah.
The
So I mean, I think Bigfoot's real. I'm just not willing to sit in the woods and wait for him. You
No.
know?
We agree.
Yeah.
It's some work. It's some work. I don't know if I could do the Bigfoot shrieks, but we may try it. We have a friend local here, and there's an area in Cumberland that is supposedly home to
Down the street.
Really?
Bigfoot.
I got a friend who lives in Cumberland. Interesting.
Yeah. Carl Johnson calls it Big Roadie.
Big Roadie. He wants to name it on the registry and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were thinking
the
about going in
Latin
there, some little bats and howling and just see what the hell happens.
Bigfoot bats. Are you kidding me? Stick a footing on it and bang some trees. Oh, yay.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem sitting in a asbestos-filled building for 24 hours,
Right.
but sit in the woods, forget it. I ain't doing it.
Right?
I was going to mention that earlier when you were saying that.
He told us a good tale about it, though, and I'll tell you, it did kind of make you not want to run into him because it is a little ominous. If you can see the shadow and it's a kind of giant, 10 feet tall or whatever, and it's a more primal animal than you are, and you've now gotten its attention.
Just
You're
do?
the prey in that situation. You're not the predator in any way, shape, or form with your little bat. So I don't know, but we may try. We'll see.
Well, the thing is, I mean, even if there's not a Bigfoot there might be some other legit predator there, and then what are you gonna do? Right?
Some
Yeah.
dark woods over there.
It's I'm fascinated by it, and I like hearing people talk about it, that that they're Bigfoot researchers. I love hearing their stories, but it's not my bag. It's just I stick with the ghosts and the spirits.
How about ufology?
Yes.
Again, very interested in ufology, but I'm just not willing to just sit out with my neck like this for any
Amount
great
of
length of time.
Right. We're always looking. We love looking at the sky. And we have seen some things.
That's what our name derives from.
Yeah, it actually does. It actually derives from a UFO experience. But
cool.
It was something that was high up and just moving.
Yeah, I mean,
that were like abducted or anything.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I have people that I trust and respect that have had encounters, and I believe them. I totally believe them.
Oh yeah.
It's just
we believe them too. We've talked to a lot of abductees on here, and we've been fortunate enough and gained the kind of insight into that field that we didn't have prior. It was enlightening. I do believe them. People do have those experiences, just like the paranormal, and there are definitely, correlations between the two and the phenomena.
I believe it. So my group actually spun off of another group in New England. There were Boston Paranormal Investigators, was it BPI? And the gentleman who ran that group, his name was Tom Elliott, and he's up there in age now, and sadly he's suffering from dementia.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of sad, but I mean he's been doing it a long time, and I was fortunate enough to interview Tom when he was well enough to give an interview. I mean, he used to go out with Betty Hill.
Really?
He
Wow.
used to go with Betty Hill, and Betty Hill would take him out, and they would, you know, I mean, look for UFOs or whatever, and he's got I mean, he had some really legit stories that he told. You know, I have an interview with him taped that I should probably put out at some point, because he was such a wealth of knowledge, and anybody that's been doing this for longer than I have in New England has heard of him. Just a wealth of knowledge, and when you brought up the UFOs, I just made me think of him. You know.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Betty and Barney Hill, of course, is
Betty and Barney Hill, yeah. So he actually, I think Barney had passed, but he would go up to New Hampshire with Betty, and they would sit along the train tracks, and it was her theory that they used to follow the train tracks, the UFOs.
Really?
That's according to Tom, according to Betty.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that before.
yeah. So I interviewed Tom probably 6 years ago now, and I do have that interview saved. At some point, I see if I can get a release from him to put that out there.
That'd be really cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's fascinating.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah. So what do you where can people find you?
So Facebook, first and foremost, we have Paranormal New England's our Facebook page, and not all, but any certain investigations, if I felt we got like legit evidence, you're running it across the bottom. Like would be the Paranormal New England YouTube page.
Yeah, probably best way to find that is just look Paranormal New England up on YouTube.
Yep.
I know I put the link there, but the links on YouTube, they have a hard time giving you a straight up link.
So a lot of the evidence we've been talking about tonight, a lot of that's out there. You know, always looking to gain subscribers, not looking to make money off of it, but just more bragging rights than anything else. You know what I mean? I have X amount of followers, so yeah,
that's right. Yeah, lots of stuff up here.
Yeah, you do.
All kinds of videos. Very cool site. Like, wow, I don't know what the hell is going on. There's Trans-Allegheny.
That's Trans-Allegheny, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Very cool. Yeah, some great stuff. So, you know, look that up again, Paranormal New England. And when you're done with that, you got to look up Dark Horse Paranormal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know the YouTube is a tough gig. Hard to get people in there.
It is.
I don't know why. Seem to appeal to Facebookers more than anything, but
yeah,
that's awesome. And it's been great to talk to you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm glad we were able to get together to do this, because I know we talked about it, and you know,
time went right by.
It did. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And hopefully we get to do some stuff live, you know, like go out and actually collaborate on some stuff.
Yes, please.
Always
if you find time in your busy schedule, please let us know.
For an investigation. Yeah,
okay.
we're down for it. So let us know, and I'm sure we'll do some stuff with Dominion as well.
Yes,
absolutely.
So, Dominion Ministries.
Great stuff.
Thank you
again.
Well,
stick around. I'm going to just play out a stream and wrap things up. I can't talk.
You can talk.
Thank you, Joe. And that's all the time we have for this Thursday. We have a guest Saturday for Bigfoot and the Bunny.
Joshua Chairs from Phantom Detectives.
Phantom Detectives, that's right.
Come on.
Paranormal team, and we're going to talk again about the paranormal.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, on a channel like Bigfoot and the Bunny. And he seems like a great guy. We're going to have a lot of fun. That show, we're going to change the times. If you follow our shows, instead of going from 4 to 6 Eastern, we're going to try to change that to 6 to 8. Going forward, we think might be a better time slot for Bigfoot and the Bunny. And we'll see you Saturday. Thanks, guys. Thanks everybody for joining. Really appreciate it. Greg, Marianne, I see that. Good show. Thank you so much. Gina, Emery Young, Debbie Wallace-Hagan, Anita Allen, came by, said hello.
Hi, Anita.
All you guys, you know you are. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll see you Saturday.
Bye-bye.